RedMagic begins the new year with another gaming powerhouse, this time sporting the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset. This processor alone makes it a capable gaming machine, and when combined with RedMagic's innovative cooling solutions and software optimization, this device appears to have the potential to unleash the silicon's full potential. The RedMagic 8 Pro is off to a strong start, with a new design and powerful internals, but how is it to live with? We've been using it for a few weeks now in an attempt to find out. The RedMagic 8 Pro size are 164.5 by 77 by 9.47 mm for a weight of 228 grams. The RedMagic 8 Pro has a completely new design for 2023, with sharp squared-off corners and a completely flat rear panel replacing the sweeping curves of its predecessor, excluding the protruding camera lenses. We're putting the matte colorway through its paces, which is all black with a matte finish and some glossy details. We like the design because it reminds us of Sony's Xperia line. It's certainly understated by gaming phone standards, but the standard RGB lighting does appear if you want a little more flair. The Void colorway takes a more aggressive approach, with a transparent back panel, gold details, and RedMagic's RGB cooling fan, which we first saw on the RedMagic 7 last year. Because of the sharp edges, the RedMagic 8 Pro looks great when paired with a Vice-style controller, such as our GameSir X2 Pro. We're not sure if this was intentional, but it's a nice coincidence for a gaming handset, and it's certainly the most seamless look we've achieved with the accessory. Of course, not everyone will appreciate the sharp edges. Depending on your grip style, it may be uncomfortable, though we had no such issues. The latest model includes the usual RedMagic touches, such as capacitive touch shoulder buttons and a physical red switch for entering the game space. Instead of drawing in air from the back and exhausting from the top, when held horizontally, the RedMagic 8 Pro draws in air from the bottom and exhausts from the top. This is a welcome change, as we found it far too easy to obstruct the vents on the 7 Pro and 7S Pro. The buttons had to be repositioned due to the new vent placement. The lock button, game mode switch, and touch triggers are now on the right side, while the volume rocker has moved to the left side, parallel to the lock button. They're all easily accessible, but we did take a lot of accidental screenshots when we accidentally pressed the volume rocker while locking the phone. The RGB lighting on the rear panel is subtle, illuminating the RedMagic text and the patterns beneath each trigger. There are a plethora of effects to choose from, and it does have vaguely practical applications, such as informing you of unread notifications or an incoming call. But, really, it's all about the looks, and it does look pretty cool. We particularly like how it can pulse in time with the beat when you're listening to music or watching a video. The display is a highlight of this device, as it is one of the few on the market that is free of notches and cutouts due to the use of an under-display camera. The narrow bezels and squared-off design also contribute to the illusion, making the large screen appear even larger. In terms of specifications, it's very similar to the RedMagic 7S Pro. There's a slight increase in resolution, possibly due to sharp corners, but everything else is the same. There is still a 6.8-inch diagonal, 120 Hz refresh rate, and 960 Hz touch sampling. The brightness output, on the other hand, has improved. It now reaches an eye-watering 1300 nits, which is plenty bright for our needs. We haven't had much sun to deal with this winter, but we can see this being very useful for those summer gaming sessions. The speakers are also quite impressive. Managing great clarity in staging, as well as some low-end thump, which is frequently lacking on mobile devices. It can't quite compete with the Black Shark 5 Pro's exceptional speakers, but it's the closest a phone has come yet. Of course, you can use headphones if you prefer, and thankfully, this model still has a 3.5mm headphone jack. Our review unit comes standard with 12GB RAM and 256GB storage, but you can upgrade to a whopping 16GB with 512GB storage if you so desire. It should come as no surprise that this is the fastest phone we've tested to date. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 powered iQOO11 was already outperforming benchmarks before adding active cooling, and things only get better from there. The RedMagic 8 Pro can handle any game you throw at it with ease, and it also keeps its cool under pressure. The active cooling fan does an excellent job of dissipating heat, and whereas some older RedMagic devices got quite toasty when using their aluminum frame as a heatsink, the latest model never got too hot. As standard, the phone runs RedMagic OS version 6.0, which is based on Android 13. In terms of aesthetics and functionality, it is very similar to previous RedMagic operating systems. It has less bloatware than some of the competition, and most of the apps that come pre-installed serve a purpose for gaming or adding accessories. As always, there's a plethora of tools for customizing your gaming experience, and they've received a design refresh for this generation. The controls now slide in from both the right and left sides, making everything accessible and well organized. These tools can be used to control everything from overclocking and touch sampling rates to notification styles, screen recording, and mirroring. You could spend hours fiddling with these settings, and some gamers will adore the customization. One new feature allowed us to stream our phone screen to our PC, which was running an app called RedMagic Studio, and then control our phone and its entire functionality with the keyboard and mouse. We thought this was really cool and can see it coming in handy for gaming, productivity, or live streaming. However, our experience with the RedMagic 8 Pro was not all roses. Unfortunately, we encountered more bugs and strange glitches with this release than with any of the brand's previous devices. These ranged from annoying graphical glitches like text appearing over other text and untranslated features to complete system freeze-ups. We're confident that things will improve. We're testing before the launch, and we know from past experience that RedMagic releases a lot of updates and bug fixes. They just haven't arrived yet, which has made our daily experience a little frustrating. To complete the RedMagic 8 Pro, we find a 6000 mAh dual-cell battery with support for 65-watt fast charging thanks to the adapter included in the package. The RedMagic 8 Pro features a triple camera system with the main at 50 megapixel f1.88, a 8 megapixel wide camera f2.2 and a 2 megapixel macro f2.4. On the front sight we have a 16 megapixel selfie camera second gen under display camera. It's the usual RedMagic story when it comes to camera performance. You get a good main camera and some weaker auxiliary cameras. As usual, the under-display selfie camera is abysmal. This time, we have the Samsung GN5 as our primary camera, which is also found on the Samsung Galaxy S22 and the iQOO11. So it's pretty well established that this camera can take great photos, and the RedMagic 8 Pro is no exception. The difference here is that RedMagic's image processing isn't quite as advanced as the other brands, so while the detail is there, the colors are a little drearier and may require a little tweaking in your preferred editing tool to look their best. The 8 megapixel wide-angle and 2 megapixel macro lenses are the same as those found on all RedMagic devices last year. The wide-angle lens is useful, but it lacks detail, and the 2 megapixel macro is best avoided. The under-display selfie camera appears to be the same one we saw on the RedMagic 7S Pro, which is disappointing. The live view, as previously discovered, is extremely soft with bloomy highlights, and the resulting images are subjected to aggressive processing to restore some sharpness. This produces very unflattering images and will most likely not be the tool of choice for Instagram enthusiasts. The RedMagic 8 Pro is an excellent gaming phone, and it is currently the top dog in terms of performance. The cooling system performs admirably, and the software adds some useful and novel touches to the gaming experience. We like the new shape as well. The sharper edges make the large uninterrupted display look even larger than before. This luxurious display comes at the expense of a decent selfie shooter, and we'd rather have a traditional camera in a small bezel than an under-display camera with such poor results. In its current state, the software is far too buggy for our liking. However, as previously stated, we are confident that this will improve dramatically as the updates begin to roll out. You might want to wait until the bugs are worked out before diving in. As is customary, the RedMagic 8 Pro is all about performance, and it does not disappoint. As is customary, the RedMagic 8 Pro is all about performance, and it does not disappoint. The starting price will be around $600 and it could be a good deal for some people.